it's Abby. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a manga tier list video. This is one of those types of videos that I really enjoy watching, but realize that I've never made. With my tier list, it's not going to be so much tiers, but more categories, because I had a hard time trying to put them in traditional tiers. So let's pull up the tier list. So my categories are no notes. I have nothing that I would change about these manga. The next category is give me more. This is either a series where I haven't read enough of it and need to have more, but I really think that it's a strong contender to be in the no notes, or it's something I do have notes on and I want them to give me something more. There's something that I feel like is missing, or that they're doing that they shouldn't be doing, that would make it a better experience for me. Love over story. These are like kind of giving you the feels or vibes, different things like that, but the story isn't fully there. It's not at the tier of the other things. Just watch the anime. I don't mean this as a negative. It's more just I either feel like it lends itself well to being actually animated instead of being on the page, or I feel like you're getting everything you need to from the anime anyway. So if you're trying to figure out what to spend your money on versus not spend your money on, I feel like you could just watch the anime for these. On the fence, these are series I've started, but I don't know if I'm going to continue for various reasons. Not for me. This is definitely my most controversial category, which is things that I've started, but they're not for me. They're for other people. I'm sure they're really good, and even my husband would fight me on some of these, but they're just not for me. And then my last category is trash. So I've read over 90 different series. So let's hop into it. First one here, we have Galaxy Next Door. And for me, that's going to just be not for me. I thought it's cute. She's like an alien princess, and he is a mangaka who's taking care of his two younger siblings because they're orphaned. I just felt like it was she's manic pixie dream girl, he's boring but good guy, and it just, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. A Man and His Cat. I'm on the fence with this one only because I'm 5 volumes in. It seems like it's going to get more sad, and I just don't know that I want to continue with this series. There's nothing wrong with this series, and we have a couple other cat ones on this list too, where like I personally am allergic to cats, have never really had pets that I'm like super connected to, and so I feel like it's just I don't fully get it, but it is adorable. This one in particular follows a widowed man who decides to go get a cat, and just them bonding and making new friends, and him trying to move on with his life now that his wife has passed away. Next we have Kimbanashi. This is going to go in the not for me because I see why this is getting so much acclaim. Her story is that she is becoming a storyteller in the footsteps of her father. Her father did not have the success that he was kind of owed, or that they thought he should receive, and she goes to be trained in this art as well. This reminds me very much of a sports manga, which is not a genre that I read, even though this is the performing arts and not a sporting event. It has the same vibes of like training and the different things you have to overcome and move up. I really truly understand why people enjoy this. It is just not for me. Anyway, I'm falling in love with you. This goes in love over story, and that is definitely because there's almost no story. This follows a young girl and her group of best friends that are all guys, and it's their time in high school, and it takes place during COVID. The story also takes place 10 years in the future, where she's looking back on her time with these best friends and like what's going on with their relationship, who she ends up with. This is a lot of panels of, oh my gosh, I love you. Oh, I don't know how to feel. Does so and so love me too? Oh, this guy's going after her, but I also love her. And there's pretty much no substance to this story at all. But did I devour all 5 volumes that are out in English in like 2 days? Yes, I did. So that's going in Love Over Story. We have the aristocrat. As an aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skills. I don't know if I'm ready for this or if this is my kind of thing at all. This kid is reincarnated, or this appraiser is reincarnated as a kid, and then he like appraises people's fighting skills and stuff, and then he's like working his way up through the kingdom because he's born into royalty. This is one of the first manga that I ever picked up, and I might have to revisit it if you guys tell me that it's worth revisiting, but it just didn't seem like it was my vibes, and I moved on. Beauty and the Feast. This one for me is between not for me, trash, and on the fence. Now, if anyone has finished the story, you need to tell me, does it become a love story? Because she is a widowed woman. She's fairly young, but she is obviously an adult woman. And she has this boy who's in high school who moves in next door to her. He's a baseball player. She takes him under her wing and like starts cooking for him and taking care of him. And some of the people on his team also start coming. Some of the other people from their high school start coming. And so if she is like the mother of this friend group, then I would put it that I'm on the fence. If they become romantically involved, it's trash for me. I know that he is like of age, like I think he's like 16, but I can't. She's like 30 something. That's not for me. So I think that I'm going to put it in trash for right now, unless you tell me that that's not the case, because I'm just really worried I'm not gonna root for them. I thought that it was cute and I liked the descriptions of food, but if that's the direction it headed, then I just can't. Before Chainsaw Man, 17 to 21, this is just not for me. His writing's very dark. It's sci-fi and fantasy and horror, and I don't like Chainsaw Man either. I've watched one episode of it, didn't like anything except Pachita, and this is one of the shows that my husband really enjoys, but it is not for me at all. But I get why people like it. I don't know even if this is like people are on board with that or not, because the short stories are very weird, and I have the second one but didn't read that one because it had some triggers that I just can't read about. So but yeah, just not for me, but I'm sure it's good for other people. Beyond the Clouds is going in Give Me More. This is a steampunk Studio Ghibli vibes, and it follows a young boy named Theodore and then this young girl, Mia, who seems like she's an angel. She has wings. They live in a world where like fantasy things like angels are not believed in, but we have talking animals. And they're going on a journey to try to figure out how to control her magic and help her regain her memory. I am 2 volumes into this right now. It is a 5-volume series. As far as Give Me More, I haven't finished it because I don't want to finish it right now. I just want to be able to stay in this world longer, and just really It's such beautiful illustrations, such an amazing concept, and I just want more of it. Another Give Me More is Blue Box. This is a sports, which I know I said don't really read, manga that's also a romance. So it follows a young boy who's captivated by this girl on the basketball team who's just like all in. She puts everything she has into being the best basketball player that she can be, including staying there when her family moves away. He decides that instead of pursuing her romantically, he's going to get to be the best at badminton that he can be, and therefore win her love that way. I have only read 2 volumes of this so far. I know there's a bunch out currently in English, so I need to get caught up. But I enjoyed what I read, and so that's why I'm putting it in the Give Me More. I just need to get further along. Boki the Rock is also going in Give Me More. So Boki is a story of a young girl who plays guitar really well and shows people her guitar skills on YouTube, but her like face is not part of the videos. And then she really wants to become a part of a band. She thought when she was in middle school that if she showed up to school with a guitar on her back, she would automatically be popular and make tons of friends. Instead, she's super socially awkward, makes no friends in middle school, is starting out high school making no friends either. But through a series of events, she starts to get to know these girls in a band, enjoys their band, and then they are headed into like the stardom. The characters are super lovable. The mental health representation is fantastic. I do find with reading the manga, a lot of the panels go top down and then down the next row, and I can find it a little bit confusing to follow. Also, some of the girls look almost exactly identical, so that makes it a little difficult too, but I really want to go back, reread the first 2 as I head into the rest of it, because I just am thoroughly enjoying their story, and I'm really excited to watch the anime, which I have not either. Bungo Stray Dogs, not for me. I tried it because I heard that there was like literary figures as part of the story, and I was like, that's awesome. A lot of that I really like the Decagon House murders, which they also made into a manga that I haven't read. But by having like these people and their nicknames are these famous mystery writers, I kind of thought it was going to be that sort of vibes. Like, I know they're in a fantastical world, but most of the people that they're referring to are Japanese writers, which I'm still not well versed in. And also, it seems to be not really about that at all. I don't know what's going on here, and I was very confused. Again, it was one of the first mangas that I ever picked up, so if you think that I should keep going with it or have any suggestions on how to read it, let me know. Call of the Night is one I'm on the fence of. I love vampire stories. This one, because again, we always have that age gap thing going on with vampires. I read the first volume, just didn't know how I feel about it. Watched the first 2 episodes of the anime, didn't really know how I felt about it. But I would like to continue. I think that it's probably worth continuing. I just have been reading so many other things. So I'm on the fence with it right now, but I'll probably revisit it. Cat and Gamer, absolutely adorable. Oh, I also forgot to say, I'm not, within the categories, I'm not ranking them in the categories. I just put them in as I add them. They're just in that category together. They're not being ranked within categories. Cat and Gamer, absolutely super cute. Even less of a like story than A Man and His Cat. It just follows a lady who works all the time and games the rest of her time, and she adopts a cat and then falls in love with having a pet, and wants to be the best cat mom she can be and is trying to like level up her cat owner skills as well as her cat skills, and it's just really cute. But again, I don't know if I need, like, I've read 5 volumes of this one as well, and I don't know if I want to continue with it or not. It's really cute, but do I need more of that? I'm not sure. Cinderella's Closet is not for me. I, for the most part, don't really like fairy tale retellings. I feel like it's, I don't know, the tropes and like the fact you already know the story. There are some exceptions to this, one that's coming up later, and one is The Magic Fish, which is a graphic novel, and that one is absolutely fantastic. But this one follows a girl who really likes a guy, and she kind of needs a makeover to get that guy's attention, which is another trope that I don't like. If you want to do a makeover for yourself and you're confident, sure. If you're just trying to get a guy's attention, don't like that. And then her fairy godmother is not quite what she seems. Again, if this is something that you think that I would like based on my other things that I like, I am willing to revisit this one. But the first volume kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. Coffee Moon, I read all of this. It is a finished series. I was waiting for the end. I read it ferociously, just like, I need to know what happens, keep reading. And then I felt more confused at the end of it, and I just don't know whether it's worth recommending to people or not. Like, it drew me in. I was very intrigued by the premise that she's been living her birthday over and over and over again for so long, and that she's able to start drawing people into her time loop with her, and that they need to prevent different things from happening. But I just don't know. I wanted it to end differently, or I wanted to have more clarification, and then they said they were doing like a spin-off or something else, and I don't know. Dan, give me more. I really, really enjoyed this manga. My husband and I watched all the anime. It is one of those ones where you have a found family as we keep adding on more characters. We also have this will they, won't they relationship with the two main characters. We have all of these supernatural elements that are in there, but it's action-packed, super fast-paced. My only thing with the give me more is, I know I said found family, we've introduced a lot of characters without giving a lot of backstory on some of the new characters that we've added in. I feel like I need some more to really care about some of these adjacent characters. Like, if we're gonna bring in more characters, which I don't have a problem with, I want to know more about those characters and their backstory, which they still have the ability to do. Dark Gathering is one that I read with my husband before we picked up Dan. This one is more just supernatural. It's very dark. It's about a boy who can sense or see spirits. It's about a young girl whose parents have died, and she's trying to like capture spirits and torture them to get information. It's very dark, and it's just not for me. I'm not a horror girly. I'm not a really supernatural revenge kind of girly, and so yeah, it's just not for me. But it's a fun one, and I see why people like it. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Watch the anime if you're thinking about getting into this one at all. It kind of is on the fence for me as well. It starts out very much as bullying and harassment, but I am on the 7th volume, and I really, really think Nagatoro is just insecure in herself. So like when she's teasing him about things, it's kind of trying to see how he'll respond to things, because she is also nervous about those things. Also, he says in the very first volume that like this doesn't feel like the same kind of bullying he experienced before, and I actually think her friends are more bullies than she is once we get past like the first few like little stories. The main problem I have with this is it's written by male, an adult male, and so having these fixations on like a younger person and her body is just kind of weird to me. But we'll see where it goes. I think that if you want to check it out, though, you might as well just check out the anime. There's hardly anything of substance in the manga that's not in the anime, so it's just worth checking that out. Donuts Under a Crescent Moon is going to go in Love Over Story. Their love story, this is a Yuri manga between two girls. One is super into fashion and try to do the things that her mom wants her to do and her friends want her to do. She's dating a lot to try to appease people and kind of fit in, but she just feels like something's missing in her life. And then the other girl is all about taking care of her younger sister because her parents passed away, and she is presumably like she's coded as asexual, but they bring out the best in each other, and it is a very cute love story. It is very short. It is finished at 4 volumes, so it could go in the Give Me More, but it's a cute love story. There's not a lot of other stuff going on, and I really enjoyed it. Fragrant Flowers Bloom with Dignity is going to go and Give Me More. I've read the first 4 volumes of this. When it was pitched as a Romeo and Juliet retelling, I was like, I'm not going to be about that. Again, I don't really like retellings of fairy tales or classic stories. And this exceeded my expectations. I love that we're getting to know all the different people in the friends groups that were dealing with things like prejudice, and that we are working through some like very deeply ingrained stereotypes about people and things like that. Their romance is cute, but it's definitely a slow burn, so the Give Me More fits in that category too. But it's cute, and I'm just excited to read more of it. Fuku, not for me. The other 2 cat ones are cuter. This one is kind of like Chi, where it's just like little stories of this cat and the cat's daily life, and just doesn't really have any people in it. Wasn't really interesting to me. Futari Escape. This is going in trash because it follows 2 women. One is a manga writer, and I forget what the other one even does. But these 2 women are best friends, and they spend all of their time just kind of working and then spending said money and hanging out with each other. But again, this is written by a man, and it feels very much like it's written by a man. I really wanted to love this, but it seems like, I don't know, to me it fits in that same kind of category where people are like, oh, here is a sleepover scene written by a man where the girls are all doing pillow fights and they're tossing their hair and tickling and giggling and whatever, but it feels very forced. Like this is what I expect women to act like. I don't know, just rubbed me the wrong way. Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent is going to go in probably Love Over Story. It could be in Give Me More. So I read the first volume, bought the first volume, then immediately had to hop on Manga and read the next part of the second volume that was free. I don't want to pay for the rest of it because it comes out in a couple months anyway. But this follows a young girl who is bullied in middle school. Now she's going to a new high school trying to reimagine herself, but she doesn't get into any clubs because she's clumsy and weird, and So they task her to get in the helpers club with this guy who's super nerdy, and he's the only person in the club. But then when she starts helping him, she realizes that he is a delinquent. He says that he's a delinquent who's been reformed, and promises not to get in any more fights if they start dating. And so this one, it started off as I want to say like 2 volumes, and that was it, and then people asked for it to come back. So I'm still in those 2 volumes of the initial stories. Don't really know where it goes and if it gets any more depth. If it doesn't get any more depth, it's going to stay in Love Over Story, because they're just really cute, and the fact that like, oh, he's a bad boy and she's like a really naive good girl, but he's gonna protect her, and like, if you touch her, like, I will kill you. But she's like, I want you to be nice, I don't want you to be a delinquent. So instead it's like, if you touch her, I'm gonna teach her how to stand up for herself. So it's really cute so far, but I don't have a lot to go off of yet. Glitch, this is a finished sci-fi story that I'm going to put in on the fence, because I read the first one, super intrigued, read the second one, super intrigued. The third and fourth one kind of fell flat for me. I really want to put this in the give me more category, because I want more out of it, but I don't know that the story was really set up to have more come out of it. I do like that the main character is non-binary, and that we're just kind of naturally exploring what it means to be different without it being like in your face. So I don't feel like it's at the same quality. I know I said this is not really a tier list, but I don't really feel like it's at the same quality as the things in Give Me More, so I don't really want to put it up there. But yeah, we're gonna leave it with on the fence. I forget, this title is so long, but the like witch that makes a love potion for the guy that she likes. I'm gonna put this on the fence, but just because I am not really a fantasy girly. You'll see with my other things that I put on here, I just don't read very many things that are just like fantasy. And so by having her be this witch who makes different potions to help people, she's super in love with this knight, but he's asking for a love potion for someone else. It just, I don't know, it's very cozy. I will probably revisit it next fall when I'm looking for those like witchy book recs, but I don't know about the creating a whole new world here for me. Hematen is going to be in Love Over Story. This is a cute manga that is currently out just in digital chapters on Shonen Jump. I'm reading this along with my husband, and it follows a young girl who is a CEO of a makeup company and a boy who is a house cleaner, and she ends up hiring him to clean her house, so doesn't realize that they're in the same class. And it's just really cute so far. There's definitely like a love triangle or love square. I don't know. There's different people who essentially, I mean, it's kind of like a harem because they all like the same boy, but that it doesn't feel like that. So I'm going to put this in Love Over Story because I want to see where it goes. It very much could be in the Give Me More category, but it hasn't earned that spot yet. Horimiya, I'm going to put in Just Watch the Anime, because the anime, the first season, does such a good job of capturing these characters, of like exploring just the day-to-day life of high schoolers and their ups and downs, the friendships that they have with each other, along with the relationships. The second season of the show goes through the things that they kind of like left out in the first season, and I feel like that was unnecessary. In the manga, though, you will get those scenes that they left out just in the manga along with the rest of the story, so they're incorporated back where they belong. I have not finished reading the manga yet. I'm about a little under halfway through, but I devoured the show, loved the show, super cute. So I just feel like if it's something you want to check out, I would just watch the show to see if it's something that you think that you would want to buy, and also to know that the first season is like the meat of the story, and the second season is just like this extra stuff. Himurari or Hiragusa, I don't know. Hiragisan's House of Vampires. This one I read this fall because again I like vampires. This one was complete trash. This one follows a boy who's at an orphanage, and he is like adopted by this household of vampires because they need to have like fresh blood for their daughter. But it turns out he can be like have blood taken from him and still be okay, and so they keep him alive as like a human blood bag and give him money. It was just way over sexualized and just a kind of a weird vibe, and so it's trash for me. How I Met My Soulmate is going and Give Me More. Every single volume that's come out I've read immediately. I really enjoyed waiting for spring. I like that How I Met My Soulmate follows adults and also has way more substance to it. It is absolutely adorable. It follows a young girl who's looking for her soulmate, and her friends kind of like dating around. We get to meet like her childhood crush and the guy she meets at a bar who's like trying to help her find her soulmate. Just all sorts of interesting characters. And I just, if I could have a new one to read every day, I would be happy with that. I Can't Say No to the Lonely Girl is going in Not For Me. I felt like this just felt predatory. So it follows a girl who needs like a scholarship letter from a teacher, and that teacher tells her if she can get this girl to come to school, then she will write that letter of recommendation for her. And so she goes to this girl's house and like tries to get her to come to school, and the girl figures out what she's doing and is like, I will do this for you if you do whatever I want you to do, which is a lot of things like kissing. Yeah, I just felt like it was predatory and I didn't particularly enjoy it. Not as cute of a Yuri series as a lot of the things on here. I Want to Be a Wall is going in Love Over Story. I love these characters. We have a main character who she is asexual, and the guy that she marries is gay, and so they have this marriage of convenience to help one another, and their love for each other is so cute. So it's the platonic friendship, love, the fact that they both try to support each other and help each other be the best they can be, is absolutely adorable. I have read the first 3. I need to read the 4th one. But I feel like the descriptions of like people describing how they realized they were asexual or what it means to be gay, and just these descriptions are very beneficial for trying to talk to people about things that they might not understand themselves when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community. And I just think this is a great story for that. But I just don't feel like it's at the same height story-wise, like plot-wise, as a lot of the other ones. I Want to End This Love Game is going to go and Give Me More. So this is a really cute story that's kind of modeled off the idea of like Kaguya-sama Love is War, where they are both trying to get the other one to confess to them. But the difference is they are childhood friends and they both like each other, but they've been playing this game for years where they're trying to get like a rise out of the other person and make them blush, make them admit that they love them, kind of thing. And so they are playing this game, but now neither of them wants to play the game anymore. They actually would like to be dating. And so this is slow burn in that way, and so I want more. The Ice Guy and Cool Girl is just not for me. This felt like it had no substance. He is like descendant of a snow king spirit, I don't know. And like her friend is like a fox person. But these stories are just like little vignettes of like cute with no kind of connecting things, and it's like $15 a volume for them to be like super thin, and I just felt like they didn't have much to them. And then the anime I just felt like was worse. And I don't know, one of the last chapters I read, he like is melting, so he becomes like a little version of him, like looks like a child, and she takes a picture and makes that her like her lock screen photo, and that is so creepy. So yeah, not for me. I'm in love with the villainess. I'm gonna also put in not for me. This story also feels kind of predatory. So this girl is isekai'd into a video game, and in that video game she already knows how to win, but you're trying to like get the attention of these three like main guys, but she decides to go after the villainous character instead. And she absolutely loves her, and it's very comical in the way that she is like obsessed with this girl, but it also, the girl clearly says no and does not want her around her, so it weird vibes there. Again, tell me if it gets better, but I just feel like that's not good representation. Imakoi, I'm in love, is love over story. This is so cute, follows two different couples through high school and into their adulthood, and has pretty much no plot, just very, very cute. We have a very naive girl and a guy who looks like a bad boy but isn't a bad boy. He has a heart of gold. And then a boy who is not ambitious and a girl who's like the prettiest girl in class, and it's just all their love stories. It's super cute, and it's finished. It's only 9 volumes and it's worth reading. In the Clear Moonlit Dusk is going to go and give me more. Again, I read everything that's out physically. I am not great at keeping up with reading things digitally. Right now where I work, I get a really good discount on physical volumes, and so if I can read them physically, I'm just going to read them physically, because I don't do a great job of reading things on the app or reading things week to week. So when I say that I'm caught up, I mean caught up with the physical releases. I am not necessarily caught up with what's out in English, but I've devoured everything that is out physically for this. It follows a girl who is very handsome, and everyone in her class calls her the prince, and then it follows a boy who is a prince because his dad is like a CEO, like a huge money maker, and he's a prince that way, but he treats her like a princess. He treats her like she's a girl. He is so in love with her, and wants the best for her, and it's just adorable. Okay, finally, we have the first one for no notes, and that is Insomniacs After School. This follows 2 kids who have trouble sleeping, and one day they find themselves in the astronomy tower, and the girl has fallen asleep there, and they decide that this is like the only place they can sleep, is in this place and together. And it just follows their friendship. It is adorable. She has chronic illness. He is just, his mom's died, and he's just super shy and awkward. And the illustrations in this are absolutely gorgeous. So they take pictures of the night sky and the way that nature as well as everyday life is drawn in this manga. It's a must read. It is not overly romantic. It does not rely on a bunch of the same tropes that a lot of stories do. It is just super adorable, and gorgeous. Island in a Puddle is not for me. I don't know why I picked this up. This was one of the first ones I picked up. We have a boy who like switches places with the body of the person who has kidnapped his sister or tried to kill him. I don't even remember. It's been a long time. But it is very dark and sci-fi and weird and not for me. Again, this not for me category, most of these do really, really well. There are just things that do not keep my attention. So I'm not about them. Okay, I need to speed it up. Kaguya-sama Love is War is just watch the anime. The way that this is written, it has a really funny narrator who is kind of voicing over the different sections. We have a girl and guy who like each other, but again, they will not confess to each other. They're both too good to do that. It has a whole host of cast of characters that are a lot of fun surrounding them, but reading the manga is text for so much of it that I just feel like it's easier to watch the show. Kimi ni Todokune, also just watch the anime. The anime is super cute. The art style is a little bit updated. I have a really hard time reading the manga where the like sketches, like people's hair is just like little lines and like it's all very sketchy. I don't feel like it feels finished. I get that that's the style. It's just not so much the style for me. I do think the story is really cute. It follows a young girl who is an outcast in her class because she appears to be very scary. And then this boy who is like the king of the class. Everyone loves him, super popular, befriends her. Komi Can't Communicate is going to go in Give Me More. This story follows a young girl who cannot communicate. She is too shy, but people think it's because she's just beautiful and too good to talk to anybody. This is at, in English, 32 volumes, and I want it to be done. I know that they are in their final arc now. They have said there's only going to be a few more chapters added in Japanese, so it will end under 40 volumes, and that's good because the last, I want to say like 10 volumes have been almost completely filler with like dangling these little things that we care about with the relationships and these characters along, like, oh, here's a little carrot, continue on reading this. And also I just feel like they're never going to be able to make the whole thing into an anime because they've only done the first 2 seasons, which is like the first 10 volumes. So I don't know, I really like Komi, but I'm getting frustrated with how much filler is in this series. So that is why it is Give Me More, in the meaning that give me less of all of this. A good example of this is there is a whole volume where for the majority of it, the characters are essentially playing the game Among Us for the entire volume. No, absolutely not. Please just get back to the story. She needs to make 100 friends, get to 100 friends, move on.